here we have what are called healing brushes. Now, rather than being pixel for pixel matches, they're going to match the pixels, but they're also going to do a little bit of automated changing. They're going to do a better job at matching the destination's texture or color and give you more of what you want. So, for example, if I use the second tool down called Healing Brush Tool, and I give myself a small brush, this time I'm going to check mode is normal, source is sampled, aligned is unchecked, and we'll talk about that in a few moments, and then we're going to sample current and below. Now the reason that we're doing current and below is because if I change current and below to current layer, nothing's going to happen. Do you know why? Well, because there's nothing there. That's why. So you have to go current and below. Then it's going to pick up the layer below and put that data on top. See that? So I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the other tool, which is hold down that same modifier, and then I can click. So for example, I can click that point there, and I can fix that blemish, that blemish, that blemish, that blemish. And I can kind of go around the face and hit it all. Now, notice I'm going a lot faster than I was with the other tool. Now, one of the reasons is because I don't have to keep resetting a point right next to actual blemish. Now, for example, with the clone stamp, I said that we had to come right next to the source and the destination need to be right next to each other. So that means if I do this and I do this, then when I come over here, I have to reset a point and then do that. I have to reset a point and do that. I have to reset a point and do that. Realize that I made a mistake here and a mistake there. Then I need to use the eraser tool to erase that and erase that. Now, with the healing brush, it works a little bit differently, where you're going through the same motion, but I didn't have to reset that point again. Now, the reason for that is because it's doing a better matching job instead of a pixel for pixel mimic. You understand what I'm saying? So because it sees things in a more general way. So if I was to delete everything on that layer and start over again, because I run out of things to clone, I can actually set the point on her forehead and I can move on to her neck. And I never actually have to stop and reset my point. I can actually go all over her face and I can all but get it all without having to take the time to reset the point. That's because the healing brush is much more forgiving. And often this is my preferred way of working when possible, just because it allows me to go faster. See? And once you become acclimated to the tool and the clicking and the hand-eye coordination of using one keyboard command and one mouse button and moving around, this goes really quickly. You don't always want to use one and always use the other. So for example, if I use the healing that I used on her face that I just kind of zipped all over the place, if I do that up here, see what happened? It didn't actually get rid of it. It kind of left the color behind. Notice that the texture changed, but the color kind of bled out. So there's times for one as opposed to the other. So in this case, you're better off going with the clone stamp and doing